This is TWiT.
I wanted to talk about a new product that was announced at CES. It's from a company called Rabbit, and Rabbit is selling a device called the R1. The R1 is this little square device that has a little screen on it. It has a SIM card slot. It has a USB-C port for charging. It has a scroll and click wheel, and it has a camera. And its purpose is to serve as an interface with many an app. And what's interesting about this device is instead of going the way of kind of the other AI hardware that we've seen early on, which aims to kind of connect you to some sort of AI chatbot, those generative AI chatbots. This device is meant to serve as a way to control applications. And so the device runs a technology called Rabbit OS, and the company is calling what it does a large action model. And so you can think of it like this. You would pull out your Rabbit, or your R1, excuse me, and you would say, order me a pizza. And then it might ask you some questions about the pizza that you want. And then it goes in and it does everything that's necessary to actually order the pizza that you want. Or maybe you want to get an Uber. And so you say, I need a ride to the Empire State Building. Then it will do all of the process of making that happen. You can have it play music, pause music, do everything like that. But what's unique about this device is that it is trainable. And so the creator of the company and the device explains one instance. And I'm kind of curious to hear your thoughts on this in particular, Amanda. The example that was given to The Verge is a little bit nefarious because they said, maybe something that you regularly do is you open up Photoshop and you select a watermark on a photo, and then you use Photoshop's tools to remove the watermark, and then you have a photo that has no watermark. They said you could train the R1 to do that same process of opening Photoshop, clicking on the lasso tool, highlighting this portion that has a watermark on it, and then hitting the content fill or whatever it needs to be to remove the watermark. And then you could do it on as many photos as you wanted to. Should we be advocating for the removal of watermarks on photos in the first place? That doesn't seem like a great example of how this tech can be used.
Yeah, it seems like another similar question is, should we be advocating for generative AI to be able to take art that artists made and use it to make art that is similar to the art that artists made without their knowledge? Like, it's kind of in a similar vein because you are taking copyrighted material and avoiding buying it from the people that made it when you take a watermark off. But also, it's just a weird example. I'm more just like marketing wise, like, I feel like that's not a compelling example of what this device is supposed to do. Yeah,
I don't think that they had, that the CEO had somebody nearby going, don't mention that. You should probably mention this. So let's talk a little bit more about it. It's available. It was available in pre-order for $199, and the reason that I wanted to talk about it on the show is because it was just debuted on Tuesday at CES, and they have now sold the 10,000 kind of first run models that they plan on shipping in March. So a device that debuted at CES, that there was only one working model of the device, which was being held by the CEO of the company at CES, is now sold out because at least 10,000 people. You can even pre-order if you're now if you want to. You just won't get that first run. Sight unseen, people have just purchased this $199 device without having anything outside of the presentation of the device and maybe the couple of reviews that have been online. That is wild to me. That is farther down the line than even ordering from Kickstarter and Indiegogo, because at least there you have these slick graphics a lot of the times and these videos that are showing the product and, oh, this is exactly what we plan to do. And you also have these steps along the way where you see that the device is being made. This seems a little bit like, it seems risky in my opinion, but I do want to talk a little bit more about the interactions, and then we'll get your thoughts, Amanda, before I say goodbye. The way that the device is supposed to work in early days is, along with being able to interact with the different kind of apps that you would want to, or the different modals or whatever, the modals that you would want to, it has a website that you visit, a portal called the Rabbit Hole, and you go there to kind of connect it with common services. So, your Amazon shopping cart or your Google Mail or whatever it happens to be. And then in order to train it, because I saw somebody asking questions about how you train it for something like Photoshop, you will actually on your computer spin up a virtual machine from Rabbit that will be used to train it on how to interact with Photoshop itself. It's unclear to me if what it will do is connect with your PC locally and launch Photoshop on your computer and then do that. I don't know how that all works in particular. Or does Rabbit just offer, as part of what it does, access to the Creative Cloud suite? There are lots of questions there. It's unclear. And that's why it's wild to me that so many people pre-order this device. I'm curious. So when it first came, whenever people first kind of started talking about it, they almost placed it as this little hardware device that would be a replacement for some of the apps that you would use on your iPhone or your smartphone, excuse me. And I think that the company sees it as more than that. It is the one app, the universal app that can do everything else. And that, I think, it's compelling, but I'm just not so sure about its capabilities in doing that. In any case, Amanda, does this interest you at all? Does technology like this interest you at all? And I guess if someone called you and said, you absolutely have to own one of these things and you have to use it, what would you use it with? How would you actually see yourself using it? I know that's a tough question to just throw at you.
Well, to put in context, I'm someone who doesn't own a smartwatch, and this feels like in the same vein of a smartwatch where it's like a smaller version of your phone that is functional like a phone. So I don't know. I mean, I would probably use it like a Pokemon Go Plus, which is a weird little piece of tech that connects to Pokemon Go and catches Pokemon for you. But I don't think I'm a typical consumer in that way. I don't know. I'm very fascinated by this because I don't know if this is a product for people who want fewer uses of tech in their life or more, because it seems like the argument is like, if you can use this tiny little device to order a pizza, then you don't need to use your phone, and we want to use our phones less because we're addicted to them. But is it really solving that problem? But then the other audience is like the kind of people that go to CES and are like really into tech and are like, oh, cool, a new gadget. I want to try it out because I like gadgets, and people like gadgets. That's fine. But I don't know who the primary consumer of this is.
Yeah, so it is compelling when I think about some of the different interactions that I might do on my device that take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps, that there are apps that I maybe use in the same way each time or roundabout the same way each time. And being able to have that kind of all be automated is pretty cool. But I also don't like the idea of handing over my information to a company that has no history and has no history of proving itself to be secure. And so the idea that I need to go onto the rabbit hole and put in my credentials for Amazon or whatever it happens to be, and even, I mean, you know, pizza, the pizza place that I use, it's just, I don't know how I feel about it. So I'm very skeptical, but I wouldn't be surprised if when March rolls around, someone in my vicinity will have one, and I'll get to hear more about it when it comes out.